And let's quickly cut across to the Congress party headquarters and listen in to Randeep Singh Surjewala, the party
श्री ललित
spokesperson.
मोदी जो एक मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, हवाला, इलीगल बेटिंग, मैच फिक्सिंग, जिसका आंकलन लगभग 700 करोड़ रुपया हमारी एजेंसीज के द्वारा किया गया है, इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट और इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज़ के द्वारा, उसमें संलिप्त थे और देश छोड़कर भाग गए। अब यह खुद विदेश मंत्री ने माना है कि श्री ललित मोदी उनसे न केवल उनसे जान पहचान थी, परंतु टेलीफोन पर उनसे वार्तालाप अक्सर किया करते थे। शायद इसी के चलते देश की विदेश मंत्री माननीय श्रीमती सुषमा स्वराज ने यूपीए सरकार के गवर्नमेंट टू गवर्नमेंट उन सारे कम्युनिकेशंस को जो यूपीए की सरकार में तब के वित्त मंत्री माननीय पी चिदम्बरम जी ने भारत सरकार की ओर से यूनाइटेड किंगडम की सरकार को लिखकर दिए थे, और यहाँ तक कि जून 2013 में एक निजी बैठक में भी भारत सरकार की ओर से पी चिदम्बरम साहब ने औपचारिक रिक्वेस्ट की थी कि ललित मोदी जी के खिलाफ कार्रवाई की जाए और उनको कानून के मुताबिक कार्रवाई के लिए भारत में उनका प्रत्यार्पण किया जाए। शायद इसीलिए मौजूदा विदेश मंत्री ने उन सारे आदेशों को ओवररूल कर दिया ताकि ललित मोदी जी पर देश के कानून के मुताबिक मुकदमा ना चलाया जा सके। देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जो खुद विदेश मंत्रालय को चलाने के लिए मशहूर हैं और विदेश मंत्री उनके एक छोटे सहयोगी के तौर पर कार्य करती हैं, क्या ऐसे में कोई साधारण व्यक्ति, कोई ठीक सोच समझ वाला व्यक्ति ये मान सकता है कि कानून के ऐसे भगोड़े की मदद में देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी की सहमति उसमें नहीं थी? ललित मोदी का न केवल माननीय सुषमा स्वराज जी से सीधा जुड़ाव, उनके परिवार से क्लाइंट काउंसिल रिलेशनशिप, उनके परिवार के सदस्यों से ईमेल्स का आदान प्रदान, उनके परिवार के सदस्यों को दाखला और दूसरी चीज़ों में मदद दिलवाने में साझेदारी थी। परंतु अब ऐसा भी लगता है कागजों और दस्तावेजों से कि श्री ललित मोदी के संबंध माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अध्यक्ष श्री अमित शाह से भी हैं, श्री अमित शाह से भी हैं। May I very briefly recapitulate it in English before we take you to some documents that we have. Incontrovertible facts, documents and details of Modi Gate scandal emerging since yesterday now reflect not only active complicity of India's External Affairs Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj, but also point towards the entire BJP government aiding and abetting a fugitive of Indian law, perhaps with the tacit approval of none less than the Prime Minister himself. Shri Lalit Modi, who is an accused in a 700 crore rupees money laundering, hawala, illegal betting case, was not only a known associate of the External Affairs Minister, but also admittedly, as admitted by her, spoke to her on telephone on a number of occasions. Is that the reason why Srimati Sushma Swaraj overturned the communications sent by the then UPA government through the then Finance Minister Shri P. Chidambaram, asking UK government to take action against Shri Lalit Modi for gross violation of law and for criminal offences committed in India and consequent repatriation to India. For a Prime Minister who single-handedly runs the External Affairs Ministry with the Foreign Affairs Minister playing a second fiddle, it is hard for us to believe, it is hard for a person with reasonable conscience to believe that the Honourable Prime Minister did not know the active help being extended to a non-fugitive of Indian law and an absconder of law by the External Affairs Minister. Not only does Shri Lalit Modi has a long client-counsel relationship, a friendly relationship with the family of Shrimati Sushma Swaraj, but it also now appears that there is a relationship, contours of which must be disclosed by Prime Minister and BJP President with both of them. Shockingly, it is unheard of that External Affairs Minister of a country calls a foreign envoy, calls head of a parliamentary committee of a foreign country to help a criminal. It is also unprecedented that written communications and emails established a quid pro quo in the past with the minister's family and the known fugitive. It is also painful and shocking and stunning to know that a member of the family of External Affairs Minister appears as a counsel in a passport confiscation case before two different courts in India, and at the same time External Affairs Minister intervenes to secure travel documents for the same fugitive from a foreign country. It is also deeply painful to note that while overruling existing inter-country communications which warrant that such a fugitive should be acted against in a foreign country and be repatriated for facing the Indian law, that is blatantly overruled by the External Affairs Minister to help a fugitive of law. Would any reasonable person believe that all these things were done without the consent of the Prime Minister of the country? Would any sane person accept that External Affairs Minister in a 700 crore rupees money laundering, hawala and black money case can help a fugitive secure travel documents from a foreign country without the tacit and overt approval of the Prime Minister and all the other colleagues of the government? Friends, there are some new facts which have come to light and some documents since yesterday. So very briefly, without repeating the facts that I gave to you yesterday, some more facts are now available in public realm that I want to very briefly tell you. Admittedly, Shri Lalit Modi is a fugitive of Indian law, but words alone will not do. He is a fugitive against whom there are Section 13 FEMA notices, Section 16 FEMA proceedings, Section 32 CPC proceedings, Section 11(3) Income Tax Act proceedings, and Section 37 FEMA proceedings. And Government of India has issued to him as many as 8 show causes, and he has been found guilty of FEMA, income tax and money laundering violations, prima facie. since he is not contributing to the proceedings. We now have access to all those documents, which run into about 200 pages. We are sending them to you in a separate file on your emails. Running into about 200 pages, listing out as to how crores and crores of rupees were being siphoned off. All details of accounts are available. How the money was being given is available. How the money was being siphoned off is available. The entities through which it is being siphoned off is available. We will be emailing to you instead of giving you the dates and bothering you. Between 2nd of August 2010 to 23rd of August 2012, 8 to 9 notices, all proceedings, 37, 16, 13, 33, 13, 1, we are sending you by email for you to peruse and judge. On 16th of May, a BJP government takes oath, as we all know, with Shri Narendra Modi as 26th of May, with Shri Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. Madam Sushma Swaraj ji takes oath as External Affairs Minister. Immediately a month thereafter, Shri Lalit Modi approaches a friend or an associate, as the international press would like us to believe, and on 26th of June 2014, a date that was not really earlier in public realm, Shri Keith Was, who is chairman of the Home Affairs Committee of House of Commons, he writes for the first time to Sarah Rapson. Earlier we thought he wrote on 30th July, but he actually wrote for the first time on 26th June. And he says that give travel documents. There are two reasons for giving travel documents to Lalit Modi. First reason given is that he has to attend a wedding. And second reason given is that he has to get cancer treatment for his wife. Nothing happens. On 2nd of July 2014, Mr. Keith Was then follows up this by writing to Lisa Kilham, who is a Home Office officials of United Kingdom, saying that please give these travel documents for travel to Shri Lalit Modi. On 3rd July 2014, Lisa Kilham almost denies the request, saying it's a very complicated case. And on 3rd July 2014, request of Keith Was and request of Lalit Modi to give those documents is actually rejected by UK Home Office. It's only thereafter that then he approaches Indian External Affairs Minister. On 30th of July that we have seen, that is another email which we will just show you. Can we have the email of 30th of July 2014? We have an access to Shri Lalit Modi's email now. And we will like to show it to you here. And of course we are supplying all these documents to you in a separate mail. This is an email he writes to everybody. It's slightly blurred, but it's very easily readable. There are two things that he says there. We are awaiting their clearance. Keith has kindly used his good office to push as much as he can and continues to do the same. I have few other friends doing the same. One pushback was they needed in writing from GOI, that is Government of India. That is something that Government of India continues to hide. And then I like to draw your attention to the highlighted portion next. In GOI, someone is working to find a solution now. This is 30th of July. We'll be supplying this copy on your email. On 31st of July, Shri Keith Was, now that trail email is also there, and we are sending you trail emails, all exchanges also on your email. On 31st of July, Keith Was again writes to Sarah Rapson, and that's when he says, India's Foreign Minister, Shrimati Sushma Swaraj, has now supported the case of Lalit Modi. He also says that they have no objection. Government of India has no objection to grant of a travel document. Can we have this email up, please? Okay. I will like to just read a line from this for your consideration. And that is extremely interesting. It says the Foreign Minister of India, Sushma Swaraj, into the travel documents being granted, which is, now this is important, which is contrary to what the refusal notice has stated. क्योंकि ललित मोदी जी की दरख्वास्त यूके के होम ऑफिस के द्वारा पहले खारिज की जा चुकी थी, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया है 3 जुलाई को, इसीलिए उन्हें भारत सरकार के इंटरवेंशन की आवश्यकता पड़ी। और ये 31 जुलाई की ईमेल इस बात को दर्शाती है कि भारत के सारे एतराजात ललित मोदी के बारे में वापस लेकर देश की विदेश मंत्री ने ये सारा मामला ललित मोदी जी के लिए क्लियर करवा दिया। और इस आधार पर ये ईमेल लिखी जाती है लगभग 5:28 पर, और अगले दिन 6:33 तक उनको सारे ट्रैवल डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे दिए जाते हैं, यानी कि लगभग 14-15 घंटे के अंदर विदेश मंत्री की इंटरवेंशन के। आदरणीय मित्रों, हमने कल 11 प्रश्न देश के प्रधानमंत्री और देश की सरकार से भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस ने देश के लोगों की ओर से पूछे थे। एक एक्सप्लेनेशन विदेश मंत्री जी की आई, उसकी मैं चर्चा करूंगा। एक एक्सप्लेनेशन बीजेपी अध्यक्ष और गृह मंत्री जी की आई, परंतु उन मूलभूत प्रश्नों का जवाब किसी ने नहीं दिया। We have 11 more questions that Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, श्रीमती सुषमा स्वराज, as also Bharatiya Janata Party must answer. Question number 1. What is the relationship between Shri Narendra Modi, Shri Amit Shah and Shri Lalit Modi? पहला सवाल, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, माननीय भाजपा अध्यक्ष श्री अमित शाह जी और कानून के भगोड़े ललित मोदी का क्या रिश्ता है? क्योंकि चित्र भी एक कहानी कहते हैं। एंड कैन वी हैव द पिक्चर्स प्लीज? वी विल ऑफ कोर्स ईमेल देम टू यू। Picture number 2, please. Picture number 3, please. और ये फोटो प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद ली गई। इसलिए मैंने कहा कि ये पहले बाद की हैं, क्योंकि उनकी ये जिस अकाउंट से ली गई है वहाँ लिखा हुआ है कि ये नमो प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं, बट दिस कैन बी सब्जेक्ट टू वेरिफिकेशन। पर उनके संबंध क्या हैं, वो पहले हों या बाद में हों, प्रश्न ये है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री के इन लोगों से, देश के प्रधानमंत्री के ललित मोदी जी से और अमित शाह जी के ललित मोदी जी से क्या संबंध है? प्रश्न नंबर 2. Admittedly, UPA government had written 2 communications to Chancellor of Exchequer George Osborne for taking action against Lalit Modi. It was also followed by a visit by the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram and a meeting with Shri George Osborne, Chancellor of Exchequer, emphasizing taking of action against Lalit Modi, who was an absconder living in United Kingdom. Proceedings of these meetings are recorded and are available with Government of India. Both these letters are also available with Government of India. Email of Shri Keith was dated 31st July 2014 that you saw states that Srimati Sushma Swaraj had overruled these objections. Our question is this: could the External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, withdraw the written communications and objections of Government of India communicated in writing without prior consent of the present Finance Minister and without the consent of the present Prime Minister? Is tacit approval of the Prime Minister then not writ large in the issue? सवाल दो ये है कि चिदम्बरम साहब जो देश के उस समय वित्त मंत्री थे, उन्होंने 2 पत्र लिखकर यूनाइटेड किंगडम की सरकार को ललित मोदी के खिलाफ कार्यवाही के लिए लिखा था। यूके के चांसलर ऑफ एक्सचेकर जॉर्ज ऑसबॉर्न के साथ जून 2013 की वार्ता में भी ये बात लिखी गई थी। ये दोनों पत्र और उस मीटिंग की लिखित तफसील आज भी भारत सरकार के पास मौजूद है। पर श्री कीथ वॉज की ईमेल जो 31 जुलाई 2014 की है, उसमें ये स्पष्ट लिखा है कि भारत की ओर से भारत की विदेश मंत्री ने ये एतराज़ात वापस ले लिए। सवाल ये है कि क्या विदेश मंत्री किसी कानून के भगोड़े और काला धन विदेश में ले जाने वाले व्यक्ति के खिलाफ भारत सरकार के एतराज़ात वापस ले सकती थी बगैर मौजूदा वित्त मंत्री और मौजूदा प्रधानमंत्री की सहमति के बगैर? क्या प्रधानमंत्री जी की परोक्ष सहमति इस बात से साबित नहीं होती? क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 is that why did External Affairs Minister of India facilitate travel of a fugitive from one country where he was taking shelter after running from India, that is UK, to another country, that is Portugal, and then his return back to the country where he was taking shelter, without insisting on a conditionality that after travel to Portugal he will come back to his country of origin and surrender before the authorities and face action as per law? Why did the External Affairs Minister facilitate return of a fugitive from a second country back to the original country without insisting and sending him back to the country of origin, that is his home country, to face the law? तीसरा सवाल बड़ा सीधा है कि देश की विदेश मंत्री कानून के एक भगोड़े की क्यों मदद कर रही थी कि वो एक ऐसे देश में जहां वो हिंदुस्तान छोड़कर भाग गए हैं, यूनाइटेड किंगडम, वहां से पुर्तगाल जाएं। जैसा उन्होंने कहा वो अपनी बीवी के इलाज के लिए गए थे, ठीक है, पर उन्होंने ये शर्त साथ में क्यों नहीं रखी कि वो पुर्तगाल से सीधा भारत आएंगे ताकि भारत के कानून के मुताबिक उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई की जाए? ये शर्त क्यों नहीं लगाई? उल्टा इसके विपरीत देश की विदेश मंत्री ने कानून के उस भगोड़े को पुर्तगाल से वापस यूके जाने के लिए ट्रैवल डॉक्यूमेंट्स क्यों दिलवाए, जबकि ये देश के कानून और देश के कानून की अथॉरिटीज जो उस भगोड़े के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करना चाहती थी उसके विरुद्ध था? Question number 4. Srimati Sushma Swaraj is now explaining her conduct of facilitating travel document as an act done on humanitarian grounds. Why did the External Affairs Minister then not direct the Indian Embassy in United Kingdom to give an Indian citizen, that is Lalit Modi, temporary travel document on humanitarian grounds to travel one way only from UK to Portugal, and a second set of temporary travel document for Portugal back to India? Was this done only with a view to conceal the entire deal from Indian authorities, the Enforcement Directorate and Income Tax authorities? Was this done to oust the jurisdiction of Indian courts? And what is humanitarian about facilitating return of a fugitive to his hideout rather than ensuring that that fugitive is dealt with by law of the country, that is India? चौथा प्रश्न ये है, श्रीमती सुषमा स्वराज जी का ये कहना है कि उन्होंने मानवीय आधार पर मदद की। हम ये पूछना चाहते हैं कि अगर वो हिंदुस्तानी नागरिक हैं तो विदेश मंत्री ने यूनाइटेड किंगडम में भारत की एम्बेसी से टेम्परेरी ट्रैवल डॉक्यूमेंट उनकी बीवी के इलाज पर जाने के लिए यूके से पुर्तगाल के एक तरफ के दिलवाकर और दूसरा ट्रैवल डॉक्यूमेंट पुर्तगाल से देश वापसी का क्यों नहीं दिलवाया? क्या ये केवल इसलिए किया गया कि जो देश की एजेंसीज हैं, एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट और दूसरे, उनको अंधेरे में रखा जाए और कानून के इस भगोड़े की मदद की जाए? Fifth question, sir, is that, and I'll be brief, admittedly absconding to avoid service of summons etc. are offences under section 172, 173, 174 and 179 of Indian Penal Code.